Welcome to Confidence Culture, Diverse Narratives on the Silent Superpower. Today with us, we've got Aleksandra.
Hi.
Hey! Aleksandra, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, my name is Aleksandra. I'm 23 years old, nearly 24. I am a second year psychology student. I work as a waitress, but yeah, originally from Latvia, but now I live in London. Like the city very much.
Oh, nice. Yes. Amazing. So, here today on the podcast, we're really interested in what your views on confidence are. So, could you tell me, what does confidence mean to you?
I can't say that I'm a confident person. Okay, for me, confidence means is knowing what you want from life. And it's about like little choices as well. What do you want to eat, or where do you want to go for a trip? And have enough confidence, like have enough knowledge and experience to perform at some tasks at your job or at uni or anywhere.
Interesting. That's really interesting to hear. And could you tell me, you mentioned earlier that you don't feel the most confident in yourself.
Yeah, I did.
You did. Are you comfortable like talking about that?
Yeah.
Can I ask you some questions about that?
Yeah.
Cool, amazing. So can you tell me about a little bit about your confidence journey? Do you feel like you're at the same place you've been throughout your life? Do you feel like it's gone in ups and downs? Like, what's been your journey?
I think it is unstable and it does depend on everything that is happening around me.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think I did a great job of improving my confidence, like from when I was little to where I am now.
Mm-hmm.
For example, at school, I was very easy influenced by other people. And it's just, again, I didn't know what I want. And I can't say that I know now exactly what my future will be or which choices I'm going to make. But yeah, when I was in Latvia, I was relying on everyone else. And that's why it was difficult for me to actually decide to go and study in London. And I was worried about it. And my parents were worried about it as well because um, they want to see you being independent enough to make your own decisions. So, yeah, when I moved in London, it was helpful. It was challenging and helpful at the same time. Um, and as well, London is very individualistic. So, looking at other people and how they live, and that they don't need like everybody's opinions on how to behave on or what to wear, like where to go, what to study. It was really helpful, and yeah, I feel like I am more confident than I was in Latvia, but at the same time, with, for example, now dealing with the rejections from not getting a placement or uh, just other little things, your confidence kind of decreases.
Yeah.
But then if something good happens, it's also back up again.
Yeah.
So it's like ups and downs, but it's okay.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah, uni is hard with like you said, different rejections throughout the process, different
Yeah.
applications, different interviews. Like it's a challenging time. You
Yeah.
mentioned that in London people are quite individualistic.
Yeah.
And were you saying that in contrast to Latvia?
Yeah. So Latvia, in my opinion, is quite a collectivist culture. Um, Maybe not generally in Latvia, but from the countryside where I am from, because it's very close to Russia, and we have like most of the people living there are like older generation, and Latvia for a while was under the USSR politics, and even though it was like more than 20 years ago, because of this older generation, they kind of shape your perspectives. And I only realized it recently because I was like, oh, why am I thinking this way? And yes, like when you're in a different city and you don't have all these views just from other people, and no one's actually care about what you think and what you do, it is helpful because you can find your own path. But it is difficult when you lived your whole life under specific views, and now they're gone. So you kind of have nothing to rely on. So it is scary, but helpful. So it is weird.
See. So are you saying that when back in Latvia, because it was such a collectivist culture, your confidence kind of was kind of intertwined with the people around you, and now that you're
Yeah.
in London, it's kind of more separate. Is that
Yeah.
right?
It is like, you know, in psychology, we have
Yeah.
collectivist and individualistic cultures.
Uh-huh.
So from my experience, I was relying on other people and the way they behave to be like accepted in my community.
Mhm.
So one of the examples that come to my mind straight away is the way you dress. So when I came in London and I saw how, you know, girls, they can wear short dresses, short skirts, and I was like, oh, girl, you look nice. But I still don't have the confidence to wear, you know, short dresses like in public.
Yeah.
And not because I'm like embarrassed of my body or anything. I just, you know, I feel uncomfortable. And yeah, when I was in Latvia, I wasn't wearing like short dresses or skirts just because, you know, I had old generation, like my grandparents saying, oh, you know, it's too short, you know, you're a girl, you should wear like longer skirts or something. Um, So not only my grandparents, but just, you know, old again teachers or someone else.
Mhm.
Like if you go to school in a, you know, high heels and short skirt, they're like, oh no, that's not good at all.
Yeah.
Obviously because of the uniform, although we didn't have like a proper uniform, but we had a dress code. But at the same time, it's their views that impacted this as well. So I hope it makes sense.
And
Yeah.
I'm wondering, like, your personal self-confidence, kind of the way that you view your abilities, the way that you view, um, your mind, the way that you view your future. Like, how did Latvian culture affect those aspects of your self-confidence? Because you've mentioned, like, your body image, you've mentioned, like, your dress. Like, what about other aspects of your self-confidence?
Okay, that's a difficult one. I am not sure if I'm like comfortable with the term Latvian culture because I think it's more just Eastern European culture in a way.
Okay.
I am originally from Latvia, but
Do you find it offensive
I
or
don't find it offensive, but I know I don't speak the language properly and I don't feel like I'm like proper Latvian in a way.
okay.
So yeah, just because I am Russian speaking and most of my friends are Russian speaking, and it is just like I don't feel comfortable saying that I'm like proper Latvian. So
You don't feel like you're representative, you're saying?
yeah, I'm not
Okay,
representative enough.
got you.
So I
Okay.
don't, you know, if there are people who are, you know me and they're like, oh, she's not Latvian. I don't want that.
Okay,
So
no problem.
yes, but in general, being an Eastern European Russian speaking person. It is again like different now. Um, and it's difficult to reflect on the way I was like back in Latvia and now as well.
Mhm.
Because like every day you just learn something new and psychology helps a lot because you can kind of track your thoughts and you're like, oh, why am I thinking this way? And then you try to build this network of where it all comes from, and you're like, oh, actually it happened in Latvia, so you know, because of that I think this way. And um so yeah, there is some stuff that like I'm not comfortable with, you know, for example, like being in the new circle or trying something new. It's kind of weird. But then I'm like, why is it weird to me? This is normal. And because I didn't explore enough when I was in Latvia, again, lack of opportunities, it is different.
What do you mean by lack of opportunities?
Yeah, so I am from countryside, and in our like village there was like less than 1,000 people, and like there are no there is public transport, but it's not as like good as in the capitals. And we had like one school, one like art school, and everyone knew each other. So um yeah, and if you wanted to do something different, you'd have to get out of the village to go somewhere. And my parents, like, we did have an opportunity of going somewhere, but we didn't do it as many times. And I don't know, as a child, I was really worried that, I wanted my parents to have uh, the money to support ourselves, like our family, and me going on some trips. I just didn't want them to feel like, um, they're using their money to, to let me go on the trip, and then they have less money than they should have had. Yeah, it is like, it is sad, but then now as an adult, I understand that, they wanted this experience for me, but I don't know, I just wasn't comfortable sometimes. And again, we didn't have as many opportunities to go somewhere because um, it was just expensive. Like, if there was a school that provided a trip, then I would probably go. But I don't remember going out with my family on a family trip somewhere. So, yeah, we were very limited, but I don't have any regrets about my childhood.
Understood. So how do you think that that smaller environment and staying within your small community, as you called it, like a village, is that fair?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you think that affected your self-confidence? Do you think that because you weren't able to explore, you said earlier that it kind of you feel like it limits your ability to explore new circles in London because you were limited there? Is that right?
Kind of, yeah. So, I did like the fact that everyone knew each other because it felt safe,
Mhm.
but at the same time, like, I hated it because you were always thinking, oh, what they're gonna think of me, For example, my teacher would see me, I don't know, with a boy like walking around in the park, and then they would tell my parents, and I would have been embarrassed. So it was like everyone had such close relationships, then that it was good and bad at the same time. And I don't think this would happen in London. And yes, I guess growing up in such small community and then moving outside of it, it's like you're filtering the people you want to be with. And I guess everyone does it in a way. But yeah, I have a very small circle of friends that I'm comfortable around. Yeah, and sometimes when, I go to a party and there's like lots of people I don't know, I'm kind of very careful about it. So I think it has to do something from where I come from, but maybe it's not. And but this is just my guess.
Really interesting. Thank you for sharing. Do you think you'd be able to describe like a confidence low that you've had throughout your life? Like a specific
Confidence
point?
low.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't feel confident at school, especially when, I was going up through the teenage phase, like from 12 till 15. It's like, getting braces and stuff.
Hard for
Yeah,
everybody.
it's a weird stage.
Yeah.
And then you kind of, I guess I was relying on people liking me. And if someone didn't like me, I would feel very low in my confidence that, I'm not good enough of a person, maybe. But yeah, when I came here and, I met my boyfriend, he really boosted my confidence because he was like, "Oh, you're so nice." And I was like, "Oh, okay, thanks. I'm good." So, yes, I can't reflect on like the specific low confidence experience. It was unstable throughout my school, and then it stabilized slightly when I moved in here. Obviously, it's something that I'm working on. And one thing that I read a couple of years ago, that confidence is equal to experience. That's why I mentioned this in the beginning, because like when you do something that you don't know how to do, you can't be confident in doing this.
Mhm.
So yeah, I guess it's just like continue working on yourself to actually be more confident. So it's just a journey.
Yeah, for sure. Um, and Can you think of a confidence high where you felt
Confidence
really
high.
where you felt really good?
So yeah, I can't refer to any specific moment of high confidence, but my support network is very good at this point. Like I have you, I have my
Oh,
other uni friends, and my boyfriend, his friends, and my family as well, especially my mom. Love my mom.
no.
Um, yeah, it's like whenever I've been rejected or something, they're like, it's fine, don't worry, it's all good, you'll get another opportunity.
Yeah.
If you didn't get it, it wasn't meant for you, you'll find a better place and all of this stuff. And yeah, it's just helpful to have people on whom you can rely. Yeah, but I guess like when you achieve something that you really wanted, you do feel like high in confidence. um so yeah, I guess when I got a high grade in social psychology, I was pretty happy. um but yes.
If you could go back and speak to your younger self when she was in baby Aleksandra,
Teenage exam.
teenage Aleksandra, and say anything to her about her confidence and just try to make her feel a little bit better and maybe a bit less dependent on what other people thought of her, what would you say to her?
So first of all, like even in when I was a teenager, my mom was always there for me, and she was one of the first people who were like, you shouldn't rely on other people. It's fine. So you need to stand up for yourself. But I never did that. Maybe it's just like me, like part of who I am. Um, so yeah, I don't think I would say anything like specific, like any um directions or any tips to how to talk to other people. Maybe I'll just say you'll be okay, it's gonna be fine.
No.
So yeah, I wouldn't change anything, and probably I wouldn't say anything specific,
And
so.
what would you say to maybe some of our listeners who are struggling with their personal confidence? Would you have any advice for them? Any tips of how to kind of work on an upwards trajectory with their confidence? Because you said that you've struggled with your confidence, but you feel like you're on a
Mm.
general upwards trajectory. Is that fair to say?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I think so.
So what advice would you give?
So I think first of all is just building your support network. I think it's very important, and that's something, as I said, um, helps me to get through the rough times. But again, I think it's also important to get out of your comfort zone and explore things, even though you're not very comfortable um, with it. And just like if you have this thought, oh, I'm not gonna go because I don't feel comfortable around these people, then think about why you're not comfortable and try to link it to the past, and then sort of realize that's something that you need to work on. And again, the more you work on it, the more experience you get and the more confident you become.
And so you mentioned building a good support network, which I agree is totally important.
Mhm.
Um, but I'm curious if you have specific advice on how to build that support network, because I know for some people, they can sometimes surround themselves with people that they want to like or that they want them to like them. So I think I'm sorry to insert myself, but I just want to know if you maybe
Mhm.
agree with what I'm
So,
saying, is to find people that make you feel good. By a support network, maybe it means finding people that make you feel supported instead of just finding people. Do you know what I'm saying? I think maybe part of a
mm,
confidence journey can be finding people that make you feel good about yourself, because if you surround yourself with people that put you down, then obviously that's not so great for your self-confidence and feeling good about yourself. So would you agree that it's important to kind of find people that make you feel good, like part of your support network?
I mean, I agree to this in a way.
Mhm.
I am lucky because my support network are my friends. And I think if you have good friends, they will be supportive. I'm not sure how you can find people who will like you, just to be there and like you and support you. So I think this need to be your friends. Um, so yeah, I would say your support network doesn't need to be like thousand of people. If you have two good friends who are supporting you and you support them and you have a real friendship, that's what makes your confidence increase, and just know that you can rely on these people for their support and just know that they're there for you.
So you mentioned that what helps you feel confident is a good support network.
Mhm.
So I'm curious what you think about helping people help themselves find a good support network, because sometimes um, people can surround themselves with people that aren't so supportive, but just are surrounding themselves with people, and they kind of mistake those people as
Mhm.
supportive, just because they don't want to feel lonely, they want to feel liked, they want to feel seen, but they're kind of doing it with the wrong people. So do you have any advice for people on how to find those types of people?
So I believe that you don't need to find people who will like you. So when you genuinely like someone, chances are that they will like you back. And if they don't, they shouldn't be in your support network. So, and I think that's the way that you make friends. And I believe that your true friends are your support network. And uh, it doesn't have to be like thousands or hundreds of friends. When you have two or three good people in your life that you can rely on, but not like relying in a way like, what do I need to do now, but relying on them for their support when you feel low in your confidence or like life choices or like anything.
I think we've covered everything.
Okay.
Thank you so much. It was so
Thank
nice to
you.
have you.
Thank you for inviting me. I
Thank you for your
enjoyed it.
time. It was so fun. Yeah. And thank you to all our listeners for listening in today. And we hope to see you soon. And we have a few more interesting, cool guests coming on in the near future. So, yeah, I hope to see you soon.
Yeah.